Hey everyone, welcome to Red Donkey Projections. I'm Eric and we have Lucas as always.
Hey all.
So what we're going to be looking at today is Real Clear Politics' map, which is a political website, and we're going to be looking at their map of the 2020 election. Note, this is not our predictions, and we're going to go into significant depth and explain each and every state that they marked.
With that being said, let's get right into it. Before we start today's video, I do want to give a quick shout out to Drawing with Michael. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He's a great drawing channel. He just started. Make sure you all go subscribe there. I'm not going to lie. I did laugh when I first saw this map.
Yes, you can notice how it's not very colorful. We can put it like that. um,
I'm going to carry over my hypothesis with Politico on this. I do think Real Clear Politics is too scared to make an inference because maybe they make an inference and they get it wrong and they get lambasted by the public. I think that's why they're putting so many toss-ups. So this way they can say, oh, hey, you see, we didn't say it was that. So let's start discussing with the, let's start keep it positive. Let's start with the states that we agree. As you can see here, there is very little dark blue. And very little dark red as well. The state of California is dark blue. That I agree with. Same with Hawaii. That is a dark blue, which I agree with. These are safe states, just to remind you guys. And then
New York,
East Coast. We'll get back to these two later.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Maine first as likely it was a solid margin, but whatever. That's good enough. Vermont is safe.
Yeah, okay, we'll do all the Democratic.
Yeah, that seems to be all the Democrats we agree with. Alaska, okay, no, we'll get back to that later.
Wait, what?
North Dakota.
I didn't even see that. Oh my god.
North Dakota is safe. South Dakota is safe. Nebraska is safe. You know what? Maybe this is a predictive map. Because usually we do. Maybe this is a percentage map. It might make more sense if this was a percentage map. Actually, no, it still wouldn't. But it would make more sense if this was a percentage map, not a predictive map. Usually we make the predictive maps. We do not agree with any of this. We got these states here: Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. Okay. Fine, like that's okay. These two, fine. That's acceptable, but some of the others aren't. Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Yes, this all does make sense for me as the safes. Is there anything else we agree with?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, Nebraska second. Nebraska second. It's acceptable. I'd personally put it as a little bit of an advantage for the Republicans, but it's acceptable.
Sure.
Wisconsin is acceptable as well. I do think it's going to be a toss-up. Although I think it does tilt to the Democrats now after the recent events, but I don't think they updated it yet. So I think that should be okay as well. I think that's all of the Florida. Okay. Again, there should be a Republican advantage here, but okay. Toss-up is fine.
Actually, there's one more thing. Minnesota, if this wasn't updated before the BLM protests, I'm surprised how they put it as toss-up. Like, we put it as likely and without thinking twice. Definitely. And they put it as toss-up.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. And the other one that I think is acceptable is Arizona. Arizona, I do think it's a pure toss-up. LTE put this one as lean D. I know some put as lean D as well. I personally would put this one as between tilt D and toss-up, but I think toss-up it's an okay characterization here. Let's get into the not so agree with ones, but let's not start with. Let's start with the ones that we kind of agree with a little bit. Not the ones that we completely don't agree with. Let's start with that first.
Okay.
Montana is likely. This makes sense because this is a governor election year. So it's a Senate election year for them as well. They have two Democratic candidates that they're putting up to grabs right now. The lieutenant governor is running for governor. The primaries are today, but I do think that he will win the nomination, and he'll go up against the Republican nominee, so that's going to bring out turnout a bit. Same with the Senate. We have Steve Bullock versus Steve Daines, a very competitive seat. So I also think it makes sense that Montana might be a slimmer margin than usual, but likely not really.
Fine.
Utah is interesting here. I do see some pollsters that do put some pundits, pollsters, predictors do put Utah as likely. I think it's safe. I would say, like, taking into consideration the 2012 Utah, but I remember that was Mitt Romney. He would dominated Utah a lot. And that's not a fair comparison to make. But you know what? Likely that's okay.
This is the first time I'm even seeing a likely for Utah. This is a first for many different states. So.
Illinois as likely D.
No. Absolutely not.
It's pretty safe. I don't think it's likely. Rhode Island, same thing. I mean, whatever. Likely versus safe. Predictive-wise, I think it's safe. You know what? Let's see. New Hampshire's toss-up. We'll talk about that later. What do we agree with here? I don't know.
Exactly.
Let's head into some more states. Eric, do you want to cover Texas and Georgia?
Sure thing, Lucas. I don't know what was going on when they were thinking to put Texas as a toss-up for this election.
To be fair, these two are not the worst characterizations. There are worse ones here.
Yes, but still, okay. Yes, we've talked about how Texas is swinging to the left, but it doesn't mean it's going full-blown toss-up in this election. I don't know how and where they decided to put this as toss-up. I completely do not agree. Even lean we thought was already a bit too generous for the Democrats, but
maybe we do put it as lean now after the recent protests, but I don't know. It's either between lean or likely. Definitely not toss-up. Same with Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia is crazy. Yes, again, we were saying how Georgia is going to the left along with Texas, but definitely not toss-up. I do not agree with this whatsoever.
2024, maybe. Definitely not. This year. Definitely not this election. Now let's head to the state of New Mexico and Colorado. I do not agree with these two either. We put these ones as likely. Joe Biden actually removed, I forgot which one it was. I think it was New Mexico. He removed one of these from a swing state map, showing that they are becoming more and more to the Democrats than a swing state. In Colorado, we do have John Hickenlooper running for the Senate, so that could bring out Democratic voter out here. But I don't agree with the toss-up here. I don't know what they were thinking.
Very recurring theme.
It seems to be both sides, too. Not only are they favoring the Democrats, but they're also favoring the Republicans as well sometimes. So this is quite interesting here.
Yeah, I don't.
Eric, how about we talk about New Jersey and Connecticut?
Sure. I'll move on to Connecticut and New Jersey, and this is all I have to say. There's absolutely no way these states can be voting anything below likely. We put it as safe all of the time. And, okay, we are fine with likely. But Lee, absolutely not. I completely disagree with this. There's absolutely no way in this election that these states are in the lean margin. I completely disagree with this. The whole East Coast, for that matter, should be safe.
Yeah, I do think when we first made our first projection, we put New Jersey as likely, but no. Not anymore.
Yeah, nope.
Eric, you want to cover, Maine's 2nd district?
Yep, they put us toss-up. It's it's more acceptable than Connecticut, New Jersey, but still we would put it as likely Republican. Because
likely Republican does make sense. It could be lean Republican too. Depends on what you see. I think after these current events, I do think
it might be lean.
Lean might be the better one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New Hampshire we put as likely Democrat. I don't think
so. They put it as toss-up. Go figure. I'm not sure how they're doing.
I mean, New Hampshire is traditionally a swing state, but it is swinging more and more to the left now. We see 2016, 2010, 2012, 2008. So go figure. Eric, why
Um,
don't you cover? I'll do the blue wall. You can cover Iowa, Ohio right now.
all right. Okay, I'll start with Iowa. Iowa is leaning more and more to the right. We put it as lean Republican. They put it as toss-up. What's new?
No, maybe we put it as likely. I think we were.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah, even that. But I think I don't know what they're thinking. So, no, I don't agree with this. And that is a recurring theme here. This has to be some sort of Republican state. Same thing with Ohio. Ohio is trending more and more to the right. I have no idea. I'm not really sure why they put us tossed up. We both of us unanimously disagree with that.
Yeah, I do think again RCP is a bit scared to make a projection because they don't want to be lambasted by the public for getting something wrong. So if they're putting everything as toss up, then they're kind of safe because they can win it either way.
Sure.
Missouri, Indiana. Indiana's the home state of the president. The vice president. Missouri is a deep red state. These two states, well, Indiana went to the President Obama in 2008. Missouri nearly went to Obama in 2008 as well. He could have requested a recount, but decided there was no use for it. But again, this is not 2008. These are safe Republican states. In my view, we have always put these as safe, and I do stand by that these are safe Republican states. Same with the state of South Carolina. I do think this is safe as well.
Yeah.
Let's head to the blue wall now. We talked about Minnesota. We talked about Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan. Pennsylvania, tilty, honestly, almost leanedy now. Toss up, I mean, that's respectable for this map. It's not the worst projection on this map. Michigan, honestly, it might honestly be likely D at this point after what's happened. I think we put it as lean D before, but likely, honestly, maybe that would make sense after the following events. Yeah.
Both clashes with Gretchen Whitmer and Trump and the BLM protests. Yeah, it makes more sense to put it as lean nowadays.
Virginia's interesting, actually.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that. We put it as likely Democratic almost all of the time. They, for some reason, decided to put it for toss-up. I'm running out of energy to say the word toss-up.
I mean, Virginia used to be a swing state as well. If we look back in the past, when Barack Obama carried the state in 2008, that was the first time a Democrat won that state since either the 60s or the 70s. Obviously, Virginia has become more Democratic at this point, to the point where some people in Virginia actually want to join West Virginia because they want to vote with the Republicans. But again, Virginia, likely, I would accept lean, not toss up. That doesn't make sense. North Carolina, toss up is okay.
Yeah, fine.
I think we put this one as tilt R or lean R before. It's not certainly going to the president, but I do think there is some slight advantage there. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden won this, but there is still an advantage there that RCP should have addressed.
Yeah. I think they're stuck in the past. That's the problem.
Oregon, Washington. Oregon is lean D. This is quite interesting here.
No. No.
A fun fact, just like Virginia and West Virginia, some people in Oregon want to join Idaho because Oregon's becoming more and more Democratic, which further proves that maybe Oregon shouldn't be a lean Democratic. We've always put this one as safe. I think in Joe Biden's worst case scenario, I do think Washington and Oregon might narrow down to likelies, but not even his worst case scenario. I don't think it's a lean Democratic. I'd give him at least likely, even in like a regular projection. I would take likely over a lean.
Yeah.
Same with Washington.
There are two states that I absolutely can't go on without addressing. Nevada and Alaska. Can we just observe exactly how they mark these states?
I mean, like with Alaska, the margin might be likely, but I do not think that predictive-wise it's likely.
There's absolutely no way Alaska is not definitely voting Republican. Moving on to Nevada, we always put Nevada as likely. It is a relatively blue state, and it maintains its blue color. I don't know why it's toss-up.
Sometimes we did put it as lean, but toss-up is a bit too lenient,
Mhm.
generous to the Republicans here. Did we cover every state? I believe we covered every state now.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, I do. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this very interesting video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you like our content, please hit subscribe. We'll see you in our next episode tomorrow.
See ya.